From novice bloggers to top celebrities, from small companies to big corporations, Social Media Market is the first influencer marketing platform that will deliver a reliable, direct interaction between businesses and influencers. Blockchain and smart contract technology, integrated CRM system, smart targeting, and analytical instruments will allow to manage multiple advertising campaigns and monetize your content. Get more returns from investing in your creative ideas with Social Media Market.
Hello everyone, once again, sorry for the mess with the sound, but we have fixed it. And please once again welcome our advisor, Andrew Playford. He's today with us, and please, Andrew, you can repeat for our community what you have said before.
Okay, well, thanks very much for having me, Dmitry. Just so you guys know, my name is Andrew Playford. I'm the Senior Vice President at Sonic Foundry, which is a public company in the United States. And happy to participate in the project. One of the reasons that I was attracted to this particular project was the fact that I have personally, within my marketing team, been through a process to look at running a influencer marketing campaign. So we came first-hand experience of all the problems and challenges that we faced. And when I saw Dmitry doing this on the blockchain, I thought that was an excellent opportunity to tidy this market up and make it a lot more efficient. Thanks, Dmitry.
Thank you, Andrew, for supporting us. Having you on board is a great value for our project, because you're one of those people who can actually guide us to our development in a proper way. Let's discuss the current situation of our token sale and what we have done in the last weeks. Yesterday we just came back from South Korea. We were there on the blockchain symposium, pitching our project to the auditorium, more than 2,000 people, and we got great feedbacks from the Korean partners, and we are looking forward to make some strategic partnerships with the companies who is busy on influencer marketing there in Korea, because this market is huge, and there are a lot of influencers in all the different industries and niches, and the only thing that they really have quite separated social media networks from the global ones, like Kakao Talk, Kakao Friends, and Kakao Stories, and having some strategic partnerships there for the local offices would be a great opportunity. We also now updating our beta, so you will see in a few days more updates on it. Stay tuned for our announcements, and our token sale is almost finished. We have roughly less than 20% of available tokens left. Thank you everyone for support, for contribution, and we will update you on all milestones and some major changes in the roadmap that will follow soon. I guess we have already some questions. Will you sell any more tokens after the end of the ICO? No, the amount of tokens is locked. There will be no additional issue for social media token after the end of the token sale, and all the tokens that were sold during the token sale will be distributed within 10-14 days after the end of token sale or hitting the hard cap. How can I get tokens after the end of the ICO? Right after, you need to follow the instructions in your personal account, follow the KYC procedure, and you will receive your tokens automatically on the wallet set it in your account. Okay, so while we're waiting for more questions, Andrew, can you please tell me what, on your opinion, how will develop the influencer marketing and native advertising in whole in a few next years? How you see it, how it will impact on the online advertising?
Sure. So at the moment, the influencer marketing campaigns tend to be run by agencies and middlemen, as you know. And each of those agencies and middlemen have different ways of finding the influencers, but they get to know those influencers. So they end up with a small subset of influencers that they've worked with before. They know the pricing. It's all in a black box. No one can really get any visibility into those programs. So there's a lot of hurdles in the industry, and a lot of middlemen have to be employed to solve those hurdles. With what I find particularly interesting is that as you move into solving this on the blockchain, you solve a bunch of problems. One is price transparency. A lot of these influencers, they don't really know what they are worth when they first get contacted. A lot of people are contacting them. Some people are professional, some are less professional. And the big brands tend to use the influencers with the massive followings because it's difficult to deal with a lot of influencers right now. So if you're going to deal with a few influencers, you want to get those influencers with the biggest followings. So that means everyone's chasing a smallest pool of influencers with big followers. And some of those followers, specifically with some of the celebrity followings where they're in the millions, they're committed, but they can be not as committed as some of the micro influencers who have smaller followings, but they go very deep and they're very influential and they're smaller fan base. So what I'd like to see over the next few years as this broadens out and the inefficiencies kick into place is that a lot more influencers can be used in a campaign, and a campaign can tap into the influence of the micro influencers. So that just means more people are participating, more people are making money out of this, and the ad revenue is flowing to a larger group of people and to less middlemen. So as we move forward over the next few years and a project like this, like Social Media Market, starts to come together, I'd expect a lot more efficiency and just a much bigger industry. It's going to grow the industry substantially as this gets mapped out on the blockchain.
Thank you, Andrew. I'm absolutely agree with you. And about the micro-influencers, actually, you're absolutely right, because the micro-influencers can make a much more exposure than the celebrities. And the only thing that it takes much more resources now for marketers to get them engaged in the campaign, because they will have such big exposure, such big effect and impact on the audience only if they are doing, a rapid attack with the brand or service on their audience, meaning that like when 1,000 people in a very short period of time making promotion and posting the native advertising of brand or product, this will have a much more bigger effect. But the efforts that should be spent on organizing such a campaign are limitless, and what we are trying to do to make within the platform the system that will allow to gather those people, in a one click, creating the campaign and approving influencers for participating in it. And this is actually what will be, I guess, one of the most popular services within the platform, because the micro-influencers now, they're blowing the market. The only thing that it's really cost and time consuming for marketers. Let's answer some questions. We have one of them addressed to you, Andrew. Do you own this NFT tokens?
Yeah, I do. I do own some tokens. Well, I will own some tokens when they get issued. And I intend to stay involved with the project after the sale, the ICO sale. As I said, I like the project a lot. I want to back and support the project for the long term. And the ICO is just one of the steps in a long road that it'll take to bring this huge idea to fruition.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew, for support, because actually it's very important when the advisors actually supports the project, not only by advising, but they're believing in it so much, so they're contributing by themselves. Thank you for it. Uh, Next one is when we are going to show the final version of the platform. Actually, you will see the updates on the platform constantly while it will be in development. Just follow the beta and follow our announcements and updates, and we are planning to launch it as it was set in the roadmap milestones in the end of the summer of this year. This is a good one. Have you had this vision of the platform from very beginning, or has it changed and been updated? Yes, it was updated from the concept, from the early scratch a lot, because actually our experience is also updating every day. So we are trying to implement this experience in what we are doing in the platform itself, to follow the market changes and to follow the native advertising trends and marketer needs, because all we understand is that no influencers will be without the advertisers and without the marketeers. This products and services actually ruling this market, because if they would not be interested in influencer marketing, there will be no influencer marketing. So we need to follow first of all the needs of marketeers and advertisers. That's why we are updating our vision constantly. Next question, also addressed to you, Andrew. I guess the guy just missed your introduction, but can you please shortly repeat why you have decided to join the project?
Okay. As I said a little earlier, I, as head of marketing for my company, looked into doing an influencer marketing campaign with my team, and we would have needed micro influencers, and we wanted to get a lot of them. And we came across all the problems that are inherent with the way the industry operates today. So it's difficult to find the influencers. When you try and contact them, lots of other people are also contacting them. They don't know whether to take you seriously or not. They also don't know how much they're worth, because the pricing is not transparent. And each of them needs to be handled pretty much one at a time. So it's very difficult to run a campaign with lots of influencers. The tendency is to use less influencers and then go with the ones who have the bigger following to make it more efficient. So when I heard of this particular project, I got very interested, because I feel that it's one of those projects where the blockchain is the solution. I've seen many projects where the blockchain isn't necessarily the best solution, but in this case, I feel the transparency and the hurdles that are currently there today, they can't go on. It's just not good enough. And the industry could be so significantly larger if it was more efficient. And what I'm looking to see from this project is for Dmitry and his team to solve all those problems as they go forward.
Thanks. The next question is how we differ from another platforms and projects that working on influencer marketing. Actually, I will combine it with another question, that how the platform will actually works. The platform social media market is a marketplace. This is but it's more than a marketplace. It's a whole ecosystem for advertisers, marketeers, and influencers and bloggers of all social media networks who are interested in the business opportunities of creating native advertising campaigns. The thing is, the biggest difference that we are not creating the application for in-house running the campaigns or for our clients. We are creating the open marketplace. It's like an Upwork for native advertising, meaning that you have a task and you have a vision who should implement this task, who should execute your advertising campaign. And you can match it with the influencers and bloggers who are presented within the platform. They will receive the business opportunity for it, they can accept it. They will create the campaign, will run it and influence on their audience. You will have the results of this campaign with analytical data, with all exposure measures, and it's absolutely transparent marketplace with no middlemen and with no third-party involvement in the process of finding the proper blogger or influencer, creating, negotiating with him, creating the campaign, and having the results of it. You will see it all from the beginning to the end, and you will make your own decisions on how should you run more native advertising campaigns, and which influencers you should add to your marketing strategy. This is the main difference from the existing project, because most of them are focusing on one or two platforms, and they are mostly running the agency-based model, meaning that they have their own clients who's paying some budgets for advertising campaigns, and those platforms are, have a registered database of influencers, and they're offering them the opportunity to participate in this campaign, but they never disclose actually the total budget of this campaign, what is the direct needs of advertiser. They sometimes you know, not sharing all the data from the campaign to the client, and what is more important, than they actually make those marketing budgets in 30–40% more than they can actually be if connect the client and influencer on indirect. Next question, or you have something to add, Andrew?
I was just going to say that's a great point, because pricing is very inconsistent in the industry right now, and a lot of the influencers, they don't know what they're worth, they don't know what they should be charging, and when the middlemen aren't transparent with pricing, you know, the advertisers are paying a lot, and it doesn't necessarily mean that the influencers are receiving that money. And that, now, granted, the middlemen right now do have a lot of work to do, because it's an inefficient model. They have to, you know, they have to handle all these people in an individual ways. So as this market gets more streamlined and more efficient, that the effort required by the middlemen will be replaced by software, and the advertisers and the creators will get connected in a much more efficient way without anything in between. So I totally agree with that point.
That's actually the great point also, because the marketplace, social media market, will not, you know, cut off the marketeers and agents. This is actually a great opportunity for them as well to find more clients and to drive more influencers within their campaigns, because all the resources are limited, even in the big marketing agencies. They cannot, you know, run more than I don't know, thousands of influencers in one time, and run more than 10 campaigns in a moment. And using the social media market, they can find more clients, they can run more campaigns using this same amount of resources, because it will be, you know, one-stop solution for everything that are connected to the native advertising placement. They can easily find and match proper influencers. They can work not only on the local market, on, you know, only on the English-speaking market. They can work globally for their clients. It will give them a great opportunity to scale their services, to scale their knowledge about how the native marketing should work. Because what we are trying to do in the first place is create the solution for, you know, uninitiated persons who is willing to create native advertising campaigns using the bloggers of social networks, but they do not know how to engage in it in a proper way, how to measure the effect of it, how to properly create the campaign, which influencer is matching their needs and their product or service, and using the services of the marketeers presented within the platform. They can, for a small fee, much more smaller than they will pay to the regular agency, create a proper campaign that will have a great exposure, and what is more important, the great return on the marketing budget spent. And in a time when the advertiser will understand how it works, how the effect and how the impact is reaching by those marketing strategy, marketing campaigns, they can do it by themselves without using marketers and agents within the platform, but using the same influencers, same bloggers, and same strategic means. But it's more like an opportunity for agents and marketers getting their service fee and educating people with influencer marketing. And we will allow third-party involvement in, meaning the marketeers, within the platform services, within the campaigns, only for those guys who will be following some marketer tests, and holding a certain amount of tokens on their accounts, meaning that they will need to invest in their own services and guarantee that they will do the proper services for the clients within the platform, because being the token holders, they will be interested in platform development and the token value increase, and this will guarantee that the services from the third party within the platform will be done in the most relevant way for the advertisers and for the influencers. The interest of all users on the platform will be maintained by the token economy, and it will hold some, not good guys to make some, fraud services or just collecting the fee from doing nothing on it. The token economy on the platform will also given them, marketers and agents, a guarantee that they will receive their payment for their services, because it all will be locked within the smart contracts in the blockchain, and they will be, giving their services with no fear that they will not get paid on it. So this is a good point.
Dmitry,
yeah.
Dmitry, you raise a really good point around the token economics, because on the one hand, influencers, once they've provided the service, they don't have any comeback. It's not like they can ask for their inventory back if you don't pay. So they're very cautious about providing a service and not being paid for that service. And of course, a brand or an advertiser doesn't want to pay someone and then finds out they disappear and don't provide the service. So there's a chicken and egg problem. And the smart contract in the token can have the rules written into it, so that when the service is provided, the provider automatically gets paid. So that's one of the massive advantages of doing this on the blockchain. And the other thing I just wanted to bring up again and reinforce is that this particular project does have a number of reasons for all stakeholders to own the token, to use the token, and to receive the token. So, there's certain participants need to have a stake, which they hold, where they hold tokens to even play in this game. It gets used for fees, to pay fees. It gets used for the creators to pay, to receive revenue. So it's a robust ecosystem, which is always good to see in a blockchain project, because some projects I've seen, literally they're replacing fiat for tokens, where you could just pay with money. It doesn't really, having a token doesn't really do anything. So, and this is not one of those projects, because there's a number of reasons to own that token, and the intelligence that can be written into that token in terms of the smart contract is one of the key differentiators that's going to make this kind of project much more successful on the blockchain than it would be if it wasn't on the blockchain.
Thank you. Let's move to another questions. How long will it take to roll out the platform on the global scale? As we planned, and as it said in the milestones in the roadmap, we are planning to give a global launch to the platform in early beginning of 2019, but the platform will be launched for markets of US, UK, Canada and CIS in a half year in the middle of 2018. Andrew, you got a question, but you just answered it. Main reasons to invest, and you just named them all by the token economy. So you just, it was an upfront answer. How can I profit as an absentee token holder? Social media token holders, the users of the platform will have some benefits holding a certain amount of tokens. You can check them for more relevant information in the white paper, but what I can say that token holders might participate in a decentralized dispute solution system that will gain them an additional reward for solving some controversial cases between the advertisers and the influencers. Also, token holders will get an exclusive access to the premium tools of the platform and premium services like big data analytical tools, artificial intelligence search and analysis, and some insights on marketing strategy. Also, token holders may receive a fee deduction for platform services. So if you will hold some amount of social media tokens within your account, you will get less fee for executed campaigns. All advantages you can find in shorter or white pager in the token economy section. Next. Andrew, will you support the product after the SEO end?
Beg your pardon?
This is a question to you. Will you support the product after the token sale?
The project or the product? Same thing.
The project and lately the product.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said before, I think of the token sale as the starting of the journey. Sometimes there's a tendency to think of it as the main event, but it's just the beginning of a long journey. I would like to see this project succeed, and I'll do everything I can to work with Dmitry and his team to keep it going. And I don't intend to drop off straight after the ICO. So I'll be there for the journey.
Thank you, Andrew. It's actually, you're completely right. This is only the beginning. The token sale is only the beginning, because the main point is the product itself, the platform, and our will to implement this service as we were looking for it by ourselves. And this is actually was the reason of social media market creation. This is what came from our own day-to-day needs, the platform of this kind, and there is nothing now similar on the market what we are creating, and we are trying to follow the day-to-day solution for marketers, advertisers and bloggers, for creating them business opportunities and effective and easy to use tool for their marketing strategy. When Lambo? Guys, really? I can only tell you when the product will be ready. Have we gathered any feedback on the beta? Yes, we have a lot of the feedbacks coming not only from our contributors and supporters, but also from influencers and advertisers and some of actual marketing agency. What they can see now in our beta product is what they were looking for, and we got the feedbacks from influencers coming from different industries that what they were actually looking for. one-stop and easy-to-use solution that they can easily that will easily help them to monetize their content, their channels, and to make exposure on their audience more effective, and that will help them to create more good content, not focusing only on monetizing it. Do you consider to advertise agencies as your direct competitors? No, we actually consider advertise agencies as one of our direct users, as we just told with Andrew that social media market is a great opportunity for the agencies and marketing agencies to scale their services.
Yeah, I would say that if you think about a brand, the brand comes to an agency to do a campaign, but there's lots of pieces to that campaign. Some of it might be billboards, some of it might be, TV ads, and some of those will be using influencer marketing. And brands don't always want to do all those things themselves, so they'll go to an agency, and the agency will coordinate all those different campaigns and those different types of media. So I agree with you. I would expect the agencies to be looking at this open market as a great place to very efficiently run a campaign, much more efficiently than they used to have to do it. And just to see this as an easier way to get access to a much broader set of influencers to make their job easier.
Yeah, as I told before, you can compare social media market a bit with the Upwork, when not only the individuals are selling and buying services, but also the outsourced companies there are providing services and buying services as well, because when they are doing some project, for example, I don't know, developing some application, they have a research and development team, but for example they do not have designers there, so they can go to they receive the order for this application from the Upwork, and they are also asking people to create a design for it within the Upwork. It will be the same on the social media market. As an agency, you can take a campaign from the client, and you can you can find the executors, the influencers for this campaign within the platform. Just providing, packing the needs of the advertiser in the proper way and transferring it to the influencer who will execute it. Just helping to advertiser to get the biggest and the most effective return from their placing the advertising within the blogger. So it's really wide open marketplace with a lot of the services and with a lot of the usage for native advertising, and that is why we are not considering the agencies or the companies that are providing influencer marketing services as our competitors. We are trying to make a solution for them as well, because I know the pain that they suffer every day, because they receive a constant demand on from more clients, on the more campaigns, but the resources are limited. That they just cannot they cannot execute every client needs that are coming to them, so they need to deny some contracts just because they cannot put more resources on it. And with the help of the platform, they can do it with a less cost but still do it. And as you all know, the 10% from 100 is much more better than 0 from 100%. So it will give them an opportunity to receive actually more service fees for their services.
Yeah, Dmitry, we talk a lot about middlemen and the fact that a lot of cost goes to the middleman, but there's a lot of work to do. The middlemen aren't getting a free ride. They actually have to do a lot of work, and a lot of that work is manual.
Yes, sure.
So the advertising agencies who do that work would rather not do that work if they could have a more efficient system.
Sure.
And then they could more efficiently, divide up the budgets for their clients. So
yes.
I don't want to seem like we're bad mouthing the middlemen. The middlemen are necessary. The work they do is necessary. but it's legwork that's inefficient, and they would rather not do it, and we would rather not pay for that. So as software solves that problem, then the advertisers can use their time more efficiently.
Yes.
So the middleman, the way we describe it, isn't really anything negative towards the people who are doing their work. It's just the way.
I guess that we should not, name it as a middleman. We should name them as the service provider.
Yeah.
As a marketing service provider within the platform. Sure. Because when I first came to the influencer marketing, I didn't know anything about it. All the first campaigns were created really in the way that I would never create it right now. I've lost a lot of the budget in doing campaigns not in the way it should be. And if I could receive the help from the marketeers, from the middleman, as we just told, the service provider, who could explain me or and help me to pack my campaign in the proper way and transfer it to the proper influencers, it would it would be cost me additional, I don't know, 10% on the cost, but in the end of the day I would receive more return on this campaign, so I would be in the plus anyway. And this is actually the middleman is not a correct description. It's service providers within the platform, and the platform will help all the users to receive a good service. It will be secured by the smart contract. It will be secured with the blockchain, with the transparent and the fast payments. It will give an access to advertisers and marketers to the new markets, to the new locations. Because for me, for our esports service, it's quite hard to expand on the new and especially not English-speaking markets like Latam countries or Asia, for example, because they have a really divided community from the all another English-speaking community. They have their own vision, they have their own social networks, and for me as an advertiser, to expand on this market, it's meaning that I need to invest more money, more resources and more time in getting the knowledge how should I create an effective advertising campaign on this market. And if I could receive the help of the marketers who knows how it should be packed on this market for a low cost and without the fear that I will get ripped for 40% of the budget just for creating this campaign, I would be happy to pay those 10% and expand to this market, because in the end of the day, the return for me will be much more bigger. And the thing is that there is no such solution now on the market, and the social media market is what we are trying to do, is to help everyone to scale not only their businesses, products, brand awareness, services, you name it, but also their influencer marketing services, the business opportunities that are connected to the native advertising. This is what the social media market is created for. It's just to create the whole ecosystem for everyone who is willing to be in the influencer marketing, in the native advertising, because this type of advertising now rules the digital online advertising at all, because there are nothing more effective than influencer marketing right now. You can I think everybody already heard about the story of one of the Kardashian sisters who just a week ago told that she will not use Snapchat anymore. The cost of the shares of the Snapchat dropped for $1.3 billion in one day after this message. You can see how big is influence of influencers now in this world. If someone told that you need to follow this service, you need to use it, you need to use this, to buy this product from the guys who you are following, who is you loyal to, you will definitely, it will affect your buying decision. If you were looking for such service, like, let's back again to the esports, if the influencer who is creating content in the esports telling that the new, for example, game is coming out and you guys, I'm really fond of it, and I will definitely buy it, and I will definitely play it. 80% of his audience who is constantly buying games will go and buy this game because they're loyal to their influencer, they believe him, and if he says that this really costs, they will go and will buy it, they will use the service, they will buy the product, they will expand the brand awareness to their friends, telling them, yeah, okay, I just bought it because he told me that it is good and it is really good. And his friends will also go and buy it. So the influencer marketing is the most effective and the cost-effective marketing strategy today. And social media market created to make it much more easier for every participant to use influencer marketing. Hard cap is so close. Yes, guys, thanks to you, it's almost done. Andrew, I don't think that we have much more questions that we haven't answered already.
Yeah, I think what you just talked about was quite a good summary
yeah,
of the platform.
Yeah, the platform and its development.
Yeah.
So Andrew, thank you for your time. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for advising us on our road. And thank you everyone who's supporting Social Media Market. We are happy to have you on board, and we really grateful you for as our community, because as creating the influencer marketplace, our community is the basis for it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Andrew. See you on the next session. And if you have more questions, follow our chats. We'll be there in a few minutes. So if you have more questions, we'll answer them. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Advertising campaigns and monetize your content. Get more returns from investing in your creative ideas with Social Media Market.